slow, live it up, watching time go. Planning moves, things solid to this cheat code. Get your money, make it big, fuck being broke. Get your money, make it big, fuck being broke. Live slow, live it up, watching time go. Making moves, things solid to this cheat code. Get your money, make it big, fuck being broke. Get your money, make it big, fuck being broke. This how it is, the mission's Benjamins. And fuck the drama and the bullshit, we ain't little kids. My circle small, but my riders heart, they never quit. Get your money, keep it gangsta, solid, straight legit. Never switch like the real ones that die for this. It's fucked up, but this is truly how it is. I hope you're ready if you're picking this like full of sin. No turning back, I represent my vital to the end. Fuck the fakes and the snakes and everyone that hates. I'm not phased, I won't break, bitch, I'll never.
You are now watching M.O.D Entertainment.
Alright, as we continue the countdown of varrios, now for this one we actually have to slide on through to the area of San Diego. San Diego, you know, being infamous for many old barrios, and many of these barrios being town barrios. You get what I'm saying? SD is definitely full of, you know, a lot of these town neighborhoods that have already been right here, well established for a long time. You know, these barrios being business. And we'll be starting off with the barrio that is known as the OTSD. OTSD translating to Old Town San Diego. Now, the Old Town San Diego's barrio is everything that's from Juan Street all the way to Tater Street, you know, still out, all the way to Pine Street. I would have to say their barrio still extends to Worthy by Street. I think that's how you pronounce that street. To Sunset Boulevard. And everything that's in the middle is considered their barrio. And this territory right here is like a freaking, it's like a maze, bro. If you don't know the area, you're definitely gonna get lost. But that's everything from Fort Stockton Drive, Hickory Street, you know, Artista Street, all of that. I'm telling you, it's like a maze right here. You know what I mean? You will get lost. It's close to the Presidio Park. So everything that's from that location, you know what I mean? Those for who know where that's at, you know, right there on Jackson Street and Sunset Street. You know, so everything that's in around that area and around the county park is considered their territory. You know what I mean? Where they're known to roam around. Now, this barrio is not a large barrio, but nonetheless, homie, it's a real neighborhood that does real things. You know what I mean? It's close to the Old Town San Diego skate park as well. So if you know where any of those locations are at, well, that's their neighborhood right there. And they've been right there doing their thing and continue to still be doing their thing and putting theirs on the map. Another barrio that you have right here in SD, that's a town neighborhood. Now for this one, we actually have to slide on through to the area that is known as Little Italy. Little Italy is home to one of these neighborhoods that's a town barrio, which is known as the Varrio Wap Town. Now, Wap Town obviously translating to without papers, because this area was where there was a lot of Italians before. When they came over here, they migrated over here. That is where they settled down. And so the area, you know, that's what they called the area. You know what I mean? Because, you know, most of them were immigrants, you know, without papers. So that is why it's known as Wap Town, because when this gang first started, it was an Italian neighborhood. And as time went by and Mexican families landing there and more Mexicans getting into their hood, little by little, it started becoming more of a Mexican neighborhood, you know what I mean? You know, this neighborhood was established since like the 70s, roughly around there. So with the time frame going, you know, more families moving out, more families moving in. Nowadays is mostly Hispanics, but they do have blacks, whites, Italians, all of that, you know what I mean? But as a majority of them are raza, you know what I mean, Hispanics. And yeah, they're right there in the Little Italy area, the area that is known as Amici Park, where Amici Park's at. That's the heart of their hood, the domain, their dojo. That's why they even have clicas like Amici Park, you know, and the Crazy Boys and all of that. You know what I mean? And this barrio is not a large neighborhood, but nonetheless, a neighborhood that's been doing things right here. This is also the barrio in which the rapper Night Owl, rest in peace, and Mr. Shadow, this is the barrio in which they come from. This is their neighborhood. And they continue to still be right here, you know, and putting it down for that Wap Town, San Diego right there. Now, as we maintain right here in San Diego, but now we slide on through to the area that is referred to as Shelltown. Varrio Shelltown is a well-known neighborhood out of SD, you know, one of the SD's powerhouses. You know, this neighborhood is definitely with the business, you know what I mean? This is a neighborhood in which people often get confused for the 38th Street, because they do have a 38th Street, you know, and obviously in LA there's a 38th Street, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes they write 38 ST meaning Shelltown, but when people see it, they think it means 38th Street. You can see where the confusion lies. But they have nothing in common, no relationship. That's just how it just happens like that. You know what I'm saying? It's one of their clicas over here because there is a 38th Street right here because the Shelltown's barrio is pretty extensive. You know what I mean? Their barrio is everything from where the freeway's at, the San Diego Freeway, all the way to Devonshire. Their territory still extends all the way to Jacob. And from Jacob, their territory still goes all the way down to Imperial Avenue. And Imperial Avenue, their territory still makes its way back down to where the freeway's at back again. You know what I mean? So everything that's in the middle is their barrio. So throughout Ocean View Boulevard, throughout 40s, throughout the 30s, 36, 38, all of that. You know what I mean? Throughout I'm telling you, their territory is, all the way to 43rd. Their territory is massive, to 45th. And everything that's down in the middle is considered their barrio throughout National Avenue as well. National and 38, Alpha Street and 40th. All of that is considered their territory. So we're talking about a massive amount of territory that's, where these barrios, roam around. So they ain't playing right here in, the Shelltown. Shelltown's definitely a barrio that has been right here for a long, long, long time. One of San Diego's oldest neighborhoods, been around right here since the 30s, 2030s, por ahí. And their numbers are said to be more than 450 members to the Shelltown barrio. So, a neighborhood that definitely has numbers, definitely is old school, definitely rooted right here and continue to still be right there representing for the Shelltown. Now, as we continue right here in San Diego and talking about powerhouses, here's another powerhouse when we're talking about the San Diego area and the neighborhoods. You have the barrio OTNC. OTNC translating to barrio Old Town National City. Old Town National City is located right here in National City. One of San Diego's most recognizable neighborhoods, you know what I mean, next to Logan and Shelltown, definitely the OTNC is another one that comes up to mind because the National City, homie, it ain't playing. You know what I mean? It's just as large as Logan Heights. In San Diego, it's probably the largest gang. When we're talking about in just the county of San Diego, it's probably the biggest neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? With clicas and, different sides. That's where you get the east side, the west side, and all of that. You know what I mean? And their barrio is everything that stretches throughout National City Boulevard. So their territory essentially is everything that's from 24th. From 24th, I would say their territory still extends all the way to Highland Avenue, all the way to Devonshire Street, and back to where the freeway's at. So everything that's in the middle is considered a barrio. So that's from 1st all the way to 24th. I would say is their territory. So from 1st all the way to 24th. Just think about that, ladies and gentlemen. That's a massive amount of turf. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous, but they have the manpower and the numbers, to patrol, and keep it on lockdown. You know what I'm saying? These guys ain't playing, homie. Definitely the OTNC is a neighborhood that is with the business. You don't want to have, pedos with these guys, homie. These guys ain't playing, you know what I mean? With clicas spread out all over the place. They got some real writers right there in National City. And like I said, this barrio is already an old school barrio that's been right here. You know what I'm saying? And continue to still be right there and representing, because they throw everything at them, everything in the books, homie. And, hasn't been able to slow them down. The NTNC still continues to show a dominant presence right there and continue to still, put theirs on the map, you know what I mean? And hold it down for the OTNC right there. Now, to find the next barrio on the list, we actually have to slide on through to the area of San Marcos, but still right here in San Diego County. Barrio San Marcos is known as the Barrio San Marcos Ghost Town. Barrio San Marcos Ghost Town is an old school barrio that's already been right here, a large neighborhood, you know what I mean? Throughout the whole entire, area of San Marcos. We can find them now. There's two San Marcos neighborhoods. You have the San Marcos Wolfpack, and you have the San Marcos Ghost Town. So they're two different sides, right? But they both claim, San Marcos, one Wolfpack, one Ghost Town. You know what I mean? Their own individual clicas, but all fall under the San Marcos umbrella, kind of like the West Side Verdugos and those neighborhoods, tend to do that. You know what I mean? Same right here. It works with the Barrio San Marcos Ghost Town. Now, I do realize that there's a bunch of ghost town neighborhoods, and even though they all have the same name, they have nothing in common. It's just a common name that you'll be hearing, quite often right here. Because I want to say that there's a lot of ghost town neighborhoods, but we're gonna get through all of them and all of that. But they have no connections. Each and every neighborhood is in their own individual barrio. You know what I'm saying? But the San Marcos Ghost Town neighborhood has already been a neighborhood that's been right here from the 60s. Is what I was told, and that this barrio is roughly more than 300 members to this neighborhood, not just right here in the area, but also spread out, different locations. Homies move, set up shop, recruitment. You already know how the works goes. You know what I mean? No difference with this neighborhood, and the ghost town is a real deal Holyfield, homie. This barrio ain't playing, especially right here. They definitely handle it. You hear about these guys. They made the news several times and all that shit. They definitely be cracking right here in San Marcos, and the ghost town definitely be holding it down and putting theirs on the map. You know what I mean? Shout out to the homie Suspect from Ghost Town, feed me homeboy right there, and shout out to the homie Ghost from Ghost Town, another down ass homie, and shout out to all the homies that put it down for the San Marcos Ghost Town. Now, for the next neighborhood, we actually have to slide on through to the area that is known as the Inland Empire. Um, Not just the Inland Empire, but the area of Upland to be exact. And Upland is another area where you're able to find one of these ghost fighters that I was talking about. I'm telling you, it's just a common name that you're gonna be, hearing, quite often right here. This fighter is known as the Upland Ghost Town. Now, Upland is a home to several fighters. You have the Upland Night Streeters. You have the Upland Outlaws. You have the Upland Olives, and then you have the Varrio, Upland Ghost Town. Now, Ghost Town is probably the largest neighborhood when we're talking about all the neighborhoods in Upland. This is probably the biggest one. You know what I mean? At least what I was told, that there are more than 300 members to the Ghost Town Barrio, and they're located on everything that's known, as the Ghost Town area right there in Upland. You know what I mean? And like I said, this is a real neighborhood. Now, there's no conflict between the Upland barrios. It seems like, they have a pretty good, relationship, due to the fact that they go at it heavily with the barrios from Cucamonga. You know what I mean? There's heavy, tension and beef, so the Upland barrios, tend to get along, to clash with the Cucamonga neighborhoods. That's just how it be going down. But this barrio is definitely, with the business, and their neighborhood is everything in Upland that's located from Grove Avenue to 13th all the way to Foothill Boulevard, and Foothill Boulevard all the way to Compass Avenue is where you're able to find the ghost town. You know what I mean? More towards the Alta Avenue side, and Anita Street. That's where you're able to find the ghost town, and continue to still be right there ripping theirs. Another ghost town neighborhood that you have, but this one is different because this is not the name of the neighborhood, so I'm only briefly going to mention it because I know it's going to get brought up in the comments. You have the Eastside Wilmas Ghost Town Locals to be exact. Now, the difference is that this is just a clica from Wilmas, so that's not the name of the neighborhood, and it's not its own gang. It's just a it's just a clica, off of the Wilmas, which is a Ghost Town Locals, to refer to the area of Wilmas that they call Ghost Town, But that's just a clique. But I decided to mention it because I know it's going to get mentioned, but this is not its own individual neighborhood. But yes, Eastside Wilmas does have a Ghost Town Locals, and they be right there representing. Now, the next one right here I'm going to mention, I'm only going to mention it because I know it's going to get brought up, like I said. But it's not the name of the neighborhood or nothing. As a matter of fact, it's not even a clica. It's just like a phrase that they use. It's a saying to describe the area in which they're at, which is the Barrio Venice. Venice does have, the saying of Ghost Town. The area that their neighborhood is at is referred to as Ghost Town. But it's not a part of the name. It's not like a clica, none of that. It's just a phrase that they use to call their barrio. That their barrio is known as the Ghost Town. That's why you see it sometimes, like they'll strike it up like that, or they'll get it tattooed. But that's not its own individual neighborhood. You know what I mean? It's not a part of the name of it, because it's just Barrio Venice or Venice Boy. Sometimes you see it like that. But the Ghost Town is just a phrase, so it's not a part of the name. But I know it's gonna get mentioned, so that's why I decided to mention it. Now, to find the next neighborhood, we actually have to slide on through to the area that is known as Mexicali, the Imperial Valley. Imperial Valley is home to one of these next town neighborhoods. The area right here is definitely, on and cracking with different barrios, you know what I mean, spread out throughout the whole entire Imperial Valley. We're talking about more than like 40 gangs just in the Imperial Valley alone, you know what I'm saying? And one of these neighborhoods is the Barrio Ghost Town Locals, and it has no connections to the rest of the Ghost Town neighborhoods. Like I said, it's just a common name, that people use to describe, the area, you know what I'm saying? You hear it a lot, not just in Hispanic gangs, but like black gangs use it, gangs from the East Coast hosts use it. It's a name that's commonly used. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, ghost town is a phrase called dangerous area. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody want to be hanging around right there. You know what I'm saying? You get caught slipping, you'll be turned into a ghost. You know what I mean? And no difference right here. You know what I'm saying? Right here, the Ghost Town Local is definitely, one of the largest neighborhoods right here in the Imperial Valley. One of the well-knowns, at least I was told that there are roughly more than 300 members, in this area and handling business because, like I said, there's several neighborhoods within the area. So don't get it twisted, homie. It cracks right here in the Imperial Valley and right here, throughout the Mexicali, Chicali, all this area. Ghost Town Locals definitely be putting it on the map.
Thank you for watching M.O.D Entertainment. Make sure you like and subscribe.